This weekend is the premiere of AEW's brand new weekly show Collision, which means that is also going to be the long-awaited, highly anticipated return of CM Punk. Punk hasn't been seen or even really mentioned on AEW TV since September of 2022, when he competed at All Out against Jon Moxley, won the title, went and did the post show media scrum, talked all sorts of shit, and then apparently went to the back and fought with the Elite. The whole thing was dubbed Brawl Out in the aftermath. No one's really talked about it. It kind of seems like there's just a lot of legalese, and no one knew what was going to happen until a few weeks ago. Tony Khan confirmed that CM Punk would be there for Collision, and it would essentially be his show moving forward. Obviously, it's still a pretty hot topic, and with CM Punk comes a lot of opinions. So, of course, as soon as we're here about to see the premiere of the show, reports start coming out that CM Punk has this explosive ESPN interview that's going to be dropping. That happened Thursday, and then Friday the interview was released, and I gotta say, not all that incendiary. There were reports that this was like, if you thought the backstage was bad before, wait till you read this interview, man. The people backstage are going to be mad. And, I guess there's a couple spots where you could kind of see where people would be mad, but honestly, it's kind of just more of the same. It's a lot of what you would expect CM Punk to say in an interview. There are a couple things I wanted to run through really quick, but overall, honestly, you're not missing much. It's not the big bombshell that people really kind of made it out to be. I think it was more just an opportunity to capitalize on his name being back in the news and to hype it up and to hype up the show a bit more. So, I mean, take from it what you will. I'd love to hear your thoughts too on Punk, the situation, this interview. If you thought it was as explosive as it was hyped up to be. But right out of the gate, the first thing that really caught me off guard was it just flat out says he tore his tricep off the bone. But a torn tricep, that's pretty heavy surgery, and that's pretty heavy recovery. So I could see AEW having this incident happen, knowing he's hurt, and then being well, he might not ever come back. He's already a little older. His body has got a ton of wear and tear. So I'm sure they probably said to him, hey, see how you feel. We'll come back to it. If you want to come back, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But that first was the first thing really that stood out to me. It's oh, okay. So I knew it was a serious injury, but just hearing it, it's just crazy to think about just what a run of bad luck he had in that AEW run with injuries. So you kind of continue going on, and then he gets in a little bit into the issue, the brawl out, what happened, and it has this little bit beforehand where it says that he was pretty close to the guys in the Elite, which I guess not super close, but it said he was he would talk to Adam Page and he would talk to Kenny Omega and be hey Kenny, this is what I'm thinking for my match. I want to make sure I'm not stepping on your toes. And he would text with Hangman Adam Page, and it kind of just sounds like a nice, easygoing work relationship. And then I guess, as it documents here, everything changed because Adam Page decided to mention CM Punk reportedly getting Colt Cabana fired, which, if you don't know the Punk Colt Cabana story, carve out a few minutes and read on that one, because it's a little too much to get to here, but it is wild. And so Hangman Adam Page brought that up in the promo, which I guess they had already gone over what they were going to say. So they go out there and Page switches up what he wants to do, and Punk is kind of just left there. So then Punk goes into thinking, maybe Hangman Adam Page is going to try to hurt me now. He's going into business for himself is the phrase he used, and he's bringing up all this stuff that we didn't agree to, and I tried to tell him that wasn't the case, and he said, yeah, well, that's what I think happened. That's what a lot of us think happened. So it kind of starts to seem like you can see that divide that's kind of starting to build, but then Punk says, he wrestled the match with the thought of having to protect himself and really wanting to make sure he was safe and being worried about Hangman Adam Page intentionally trying to hurt him. I think he mentions a chop that hits him in the mouth, and he's like, was that intentional? Do I need to? And so he said that kind of ruined the match in his eyes, and he even calls it a garbage match. So after all that, tensions continue to build. He beats Jon Moxley for the world title at All Out. on September 4th. And then in the press conference afterwards, he goes after Hangman Page again. He goes after all of the elite, all of everybody. They have the quote in here where it says that they couldn't manage a target. I don't know why that's always so funny to me. But I'm sure everyone here has seen the video of him doing the press conference with the cans of sparkling water, the bag of muffins, just like the craziest, like most surreal 30 minutes or so. Like it just doesn't feel real at multiple points, but everything happens afterwards, and it says that he's tried to reach out to them and that they haven't answered, and basically like the response was like, our lawyer said no. So it does say Punk immediately apologized to Tony Khan after when he talked to him again, after everything had happened. He mentions that their relationship now is great. It's not in this article, but also doing promo for the new show for Collision, Tony Khan mentioned in a radio interview, I think it was, that he's really excited to have Punk back as well. Kind of echoed a lot of what Punk said in terms of their working relationship. So that's good to see, and it kind of, it hopefully gets things off on the right foot for what's to come with this new show. So now the story's hanging over, and everyone wants to know if it's going to become a storyline. Punk, for his bunny, says that he's been told no, it's absolutely not going to be a storyline, but it's wrestling, so who knows, because if it makes dollars, it makes sense, and that could be one of the biggest angles in the entire company's history. Like, if these men can put aside all of these issues, there's a lot of money to be made, and there's a lot of eyeballs to be put onto the product. So we'll see what happens with that. It's easy now to say that, everything's going to be separate. Collision is a separate show for that reason. But we'll see from there. And Punk does mention a lot of the stars that are moving over to Collision that will be featured there now. And some of them have had, their own issues or their own controversies. But he mentions it being a really good opportunity for a lot of the young stars. Like, he name checks, I think, Powerhouse Hobbs, Ricky Starks, Miro, Thunder Rosa, Andrade. And he kind of says, like, hey, we have this time now, but, like, you still have to earn it. Like, you have to bust your ass. You have to prove you deserve the time. And, nothing about that really seems incendiary. Like, the only incendiary thing throughout this whole interview is what he says about not being cool still with, like, Hangman Page, and how no one from them have, like, reciprocated his attempts to talk to them. Now, this is one side of the story, so who knows really what actually the story is. We'll never know a full story because we're only going to get, Punk's side here and then whatever any of the elite decide to come out and say. I still don't think we'll ever hear a full story, but by all accounts, from Punk at least, like, he's made the attempts and they haven't been reciprocated, and so he still has his issues with that, I guess. And, maybe that's polarizing to the roster because Hangman's pretty well liked. And that's really it. And he talks about being excited to be back. He talks about how he has business to pick up. And, he's got a lot left to say and to do. And he doesn't know what the promo is going to be when he speaks for the first time. But it's all kind of, pretty standard stuff from there. So I don't know what the incendiary part of this interview was really supposed to be. And that's what kind of makes me think that it was just kind of, hyped up for the sake of buzz and for some clicks. But that's, let me know what you think, because I think this is pretty standard for a CM Punk interview. I don't think that he said anything in here like, I'm not going to work with this person ever again. This person's a clown. This person's a... Like, I thought he explained his side pretty well. I'm curious to see what Collision's going to look like. I'm excited for it. I like a lot of the talent that's going to be on the show, so I'm hoping they get the chance to shine and to showcase, but we'll see. So let me know in the comments what you thought about this, or what you think about Punk on this whole situation, or just in general, and if you're excited for the show or not. That's Saturday night, Collision. We'll see what it's all about. Thank you for watching. Let me know your thoughts